embedded into us to take the higher route, and that's not something that the white man embedded into us, and we need to get out of allowing. We give him way too much credit. He didn't embed anything into us. All he did was prey upon. All he did was take these aspects of our personality and weaken certain ones and strengthen certain ones. Unfortunately, the whole caring and nurturing and loving shit he strengthened, and he sort of weakened and is weakening or attempting to the warrior aspect of our genetics and of our personality as a race of people. But your ancestors, first of all, they kicked the Greeks out 3 times before they even allowed them to come into Kemet to learn anything. So with that understanding, you know, they understand what type of people that they were dealing with. Let alone, now we can argue all day about the origins of the white race altogether. Some people could say that it's that the little iceberg shit that they try to pull, even though you can't lose your melanin content from being in a cold climate. So that kind of goes out of the window. There is the albino Dravidian theory, which could hold up, I guess. But the oldest skeleton found in Europe is 42,000 years old. But the actual blonde hair, blue eyed gene is only 10,000 years old. So there's a lot of discrepancies as far as where they came from. Hell, it's discrepancies about where we came from. That's a subject for another video. But you absolutely cannot be God in your to the full capacity without harnessing higher and lower self. Our ancestors didn't really have, they didn't care too much for the lower self. Now, in the upper echelon, the people who really understood alchemy, they set, in my opinion, this is what I've gathered, one from research and from many hours of meditations and channelings and things. So I can't sit here and say that I've personally spoken to a Dogon who gave me this information. I can't say that, but what I can say is if you objectively look at the information that's put out there and you take it seriously and you don't throw things to the side because they don't fit what it is that you want your understanding to be, then you could possibly come to a very similar conclusion. But you really have to look at everything and take your personal feelings out of it. It's a lot of feelings going on in the conscious community for a whole bunch of people who claim to be God this and God that. You sure are really stuck in these very human aspects of what you feel and what you think, and you should let that go. But hold on, how long is this? Okay, I still got 3 minutes. This is really petty, having to cut these videos up like this. But there's no way that we were taken down. Your ancestors were entirely too intelligent. Even today, we can smell bullshit, so you think they couldn't? You think some fully spiritually aligned people could not see what was going on? They didn't know what was going on? And I'll tackle this subject too before this video ends, because this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. But there's the part 3 coming, so that's okay. The Moors are known to a lot of conscious black people as the biggest traitors in black history. I beg to differ. I feel like when the elders and the clergy, so to speak, the priests and priestesses all came together, somebody had to do the dirty work of actually making sure that this genetic alchemy shit happened. Somebody had to be the bad guy, and it was them, because they had the supreme knowledge and wisdom, seafaring wise, and they had a complete landmass of their own, you know, known as North and South and Mesoamerica, which at that time was called Morocco. But this plan was set in motion thousands and thousands of years ago. Depending on how you look at it, that could have been the reason why the inception of the white race even happened. Some people say that too, that, you know, the story of Yakub, that they were created, excuse me, by black scientists and stuff. So I mean, that's a possibility too. But in part 3, we'll dive even deeper into the subject, because, and just, you know, hit me up if you have any questions, if you have any rebuttals, if you have any sources that you feel may go against, or hell, if you want a tarot reading or some spirit work, I do all of that too. I read books and I cast spells and I put hexes on bitches. So it's cool. Just hit me up. But part 3 is coming. This video is about to end. But your ancestors are a lot smarter than even we give them credit for. I feel like we pour libations and all of these things, but do we understand the capacity, the intellect that these people had? Do we really respect that as much as we swear we do? Because if we did, then we know nothing is an accident. We know that there hasn't been over 2,000 years of servitude by accident. What impression does that put on the mind? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. What does that do to your mind?